and welcome back to my vlog. I'm super excited. This is my second video with Princess Leia. So I've probably only done about 3 sessions with her. This was the first one. I'm just working on her at the moment, getting her to turn away from me when I'm asking. Now this is a Clint Anderson method. I watched his videos. I personally like some of his work. Some people are a little bit negative, but people are negative about everything. You take what you need. Then I did another session with her. Now, I found that she got really jumpy on me after having a couple of days off. So after getting a court, I found it was really important to tie her up. Now, she doesn't want me touching her. You'll see that. She's reacting to me quite a lot. I don't normally tie a horse up, but for some reason it really worked for this particular mare. I have trained a fair few horses, so this is just what's working with this mare. I sometimes find that you need to, if things aren't working, you've got to take another tactic and try and work slightly differently with the horse. So I'm just making sure I can work one side to the other. As you can see, it's been super muddy. We are 4 weeks post-flood, so things are pretty deep mud. You can see me trying to get in. There's a few holes in the round yard, and that's to be expected. I'm just trying to get in and just touch it. As you can see, she reacts and pulls away from me, but I just spend a little bit of time. I've got to balance myself and her if she suddenly moves. Now, so you can see her reacting to me. I'm pretending to pat her face, pulling my hand down. When she starts to relax, I'm just mocking, touching her, then I'm starting to touch. She reacts again. I'm reaching out. Now, her reaction is showing me that it's okay to touch her face, but not any further back. So I'm spending a fair bit of time just getting her to let me touch her shoulder. My aim is to try and get a rug on this girl by the end of the day. I don't know why, but for me, it works. I like to put rugs on my horses. I like to put a rug on and off. I find it does a lot of desensitizing for me. Everyone has a different strategy, which is fantastic, but I know it works for me, and that's what I'm aiming towards. So I'm going to spend a fair bit of time rubbing on her, giving her a little bit of encouragement, but you can see she's still standing back a bit. I can't walk further forward without going in a mud hole. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time just patting on her. Then I'm going to carefully pick my path and give her a wide berth. This is for safety. I'm just keeping an eye on her, and I'm going to walk up to the other side. Now she's way better on this other side. Don't know why, but she likes me to be on that side. She lets me pat her a lot quicker. She doesn't put as much tension on the rope halter. She just gives. And you can see she's quite tense. This is going to be a fair bit of work. She is, I think, rising 4. I've got to check. So I have left her quite late to start. Obviously, there's reasons behind that, but I'm just going to give her a bit of time and attention, keeping patting, moving around her. She's got a little bit of tension on the rope, but she gives to pressure. This is something I've known about her since she was little. She's always given to pressure, so I'm going to constantly walk up, tighten her a little bit so she doesn't stand back quite as much. Now, my aim is to leave her tied up for a little bit of time. I find it really does help for them to stand for a little bit. They relax. Also, they learn to stand at my float. I have 2 young kids and 1 teenager. Actually, I should say 2 teenagers now. So my horses have to spend a lot of time tied up at the float in between runs for us or pony club. So it's really important that they learn to tie, and they can be tied up for quite a bit of time. So I'm going to let her sit for a little bit. I've left my camera going. I'm trying out a pivot. And I don't know what it's going to do. I found out later on it does actually drain my battery, but I'm going to leave her to stand, and I found she stands really well. she will just stand there. Not much bothers her at all. So you can see she's relaxed. She'll test it a little bit. She'll lick. She'll relax. But she stands really well. And that's kind of interesting. Like, she'll test the limits. She'll play with things. I've got a rug sitting there. Yes, that's what I want to put on her by the end of the day. But the moment we're just watching her, and I'm seeing if she pulls back at all, if she does anything while I'm not in the round yard. I've gone up to honestly make myself a cup of tea, check on my 3-year-old who's with her father. So these are the sort of things that you do with a breaker. You actually will leave them tied up. You'll let them stand. And this is really good for them. You'd be surprised how many people are like, oh, you left your horse unattended. I have to leave them at the float. We have to eat sometimes. I have to go and compete other horses. I need to know that they can stand at a float, test it a little bit, but will just stand there. Because if my horse pulls back at a competition, it's dangerous for me and other people. Now, I do have to admit, I have a fantastic 5-year-old named Tommy, and he is just so good at standing at the float. Don't know why, but you take him to a tournament or anything else like Pony Club Day, and he will just stand there. And he has been brilliant for getting my others to stand. I believe it was because when he was a yearling, he was stood at lots of competitions. I only got him a little bit. So you can see she's testing. She's going to pull back a little bit, but you can see she gives to pressure. She's a little bit antsy. That's okay. She's realised that she's tied up and no one's there. So she's going to keep testing it backwards and forwards. And this is what you want to see. This is the stuff that I'm not going to be there for. If anything goes wrong, I'm not there. But I want to check that she can just stand there and knows that she's tied up and she can't go anywhere. So she's going to have to eventually give to pressure. So she's going to pull back a little bit of pressure, but then she's going to stand and relax because she knows is comfortable. And we know horses try and do what's comfortable. All of us do. We take the easiest route. And the easiest route is just to stand there next to the rug. She knows that she's fine. She knows that she's safe and secure. While I've got her standing there and nothing much more is going to happen, you will notice that she has a little bit of rain scald. I've been using Boston Park Equine Repel and Repair on this particular mare. I find it's absolutely brilliant for any rain scald. Now, she doesn't like me touching her. It might be that I tried to put a spray on her the other day. Didn't really like it. So I've gone back to the cream on my fingers. And we had a phenomenal amount of rain about 4 weeks ago. We had 400 mils, I believe, in 3 days. It was completely flooded. This mare I couldn't get to. So she was in a paddock and I couldn't get across the water. She was with a number of other horses and they're all okay. Their paddock actually went under. It went over probably, if we say, nearly a metre over the fence. It was pretty phenomenal. I was really lucky that they had a high point and these guys could stay safe, but I couldn't get to them. So she did suffer a little bit of rain scald. So you will see a little bit of that on her body. I find that in this sort of climate, we've got to be so careful. Rain scald is really common. So yeah, highly recommend Boston Park Equine Repel and Repair. She does have another product, which is a spray. But for my young ones, Repel and Repair seems to work the best. And it's something we've got to keep on top of because rain scald can get really bad in this sort of area. I'm from the mid-north coast in New South Wales, Australia, and we have to be very careful what we do with our horses. Ideally, I do want her rugged by the end of my sessions. You won't see it in this video, but I'm really lucky. I did get a rug on her by the end of the day. Unfortunately, my pivot made my phone flat. I didn't realize it only records for half an hour. But as you can see, she doesn't really move or anything like that from now on. So thank you so much for coming and watching my vlog. Please post any questions below. I'm more than happy to answer them. I am just a horse mum who has next to no money. That's why I start my own horses. I was quoted $4,000 to start this mare, but unfortunately all my savings got wiped out with the floods and I have to now repair about $17,000 worth of fences. So please come back, like and subscribe.